Happy Friday, everyone. Start with a week connection. Things can only get better. Welcome to Friday Seeds of Wisdom. I miss these. I miss doing these lives every day, Monday to Friday, but things have to change sometimes. So while I'm waiting for people to jump on board, I'm just going to share a bit of my week. So today I went to the gym for the first time in, must have been 2 years, with my good friend David Paulson. My wife's collaborated together to get us out and get us fitter, which is much needed. So we went to the gym today. Hey Yusuf, thanks for jumping on board. Get involved, get commenting. I want this to be a really interactive one. My brother Utam always supporting me as always. So yeah, I went to the gym for the first time in years, and yeah, it felt good. So I'm looking to make it a regular thing. Start small and scale up from there. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll keep you updated on that. My daughter got a job yesterday. Woo woo! So she's excited as anything. She was praying like mad. It's good to see her developing in her faith of Christ. And yeah, she's got a job starting in December, her first job. So it's rent time. It's rent time. I'll keep that quiet. What else? What else? Family's well. Kids are healthy. Life's good. Life's good. Possible new development. Hey Emily, how you doing? Welcome to the Shyman show. Hope you enjoy. What was I going to say? I was saying, yeah, possible new opportunity on the horizon. Can't share it with you yet, but if it comes to fruition, something I'm really excited about, something that came up unexpectedly, and that will feature on a future Facebook Live, the story. I try and take meaning out of everything in life or everything that happens to me. So, just going to give it a few more minutes. How's everyone doing? Share with me your thoughts. How have your weeks been? How have your days been? Oh yeah, sorry, forgot to say I'm gonna do a post on this later. But yeah, for the next two, you're getting a sneak preview before everyone else can see. So next 2 Sundays, I'm gonna be on local radio. Local to me is Ipswich and Suffolk. So I'm gonna be on radio, sharing my story of faith, sharing my story of life. Really just to reach people, to inspire people. I want to reach as many people as possible, not for my own benefit, for others' benefit, other people's benefit. I've had my struggles in life. I've wondered why I was having those struggles, but now I've come to understand that God has made me go through those struggles and go through being the two opportune words, because I've come out on the other side. To that wasn't for there was reason for that. So I'm just fired up. And yeah, God has brought me through those tough times. There will be more tough times to come. Kareem Radio, yeah, it's going to be Sunday morning. I think it's going to be Ipswich Community Radio 105.7. The show runs from 8 to 10. I'm going to be in there first thing early, 8, and then at some point we'll just jump on board and get me on there, and I'll still be in time for church. Pastor Dave, if you're watching, I'll still be there. So yeah, that's going to be on Sunday. So I will get it all firmed up in terms of details and put a little post out. Saturday lunchtime. Okay. Let's do this. Let's go. Right. Firstly, I want to dedicate this Facebook Live to a young lady called Cheyenne Miller. You would have seen I've been putting a few things here and there. I did a little hashtag pray for Cheyenne early this morning. For those of you who don't know, I've started something new called Prayer Time on a Sunday. Trying to build on my faith and help others. Basically, I just come on Facebook Live and pray. And the Shane train. Is the Shane train on board? Woo-hoo. The Shane train. Shane, I've got to show one of your Facebook Live to my kids. They love trains. Do you know Thomas the Tank Engine in America? I don't know if he's gone that far. But yeah, they love Thomas the Tank Engine. So yeah, big up yourself. So yeah, Cheyenne. Yes, Terence, how you doing, sir? Thank you for jumping on board. Thank you for the booms. Those little sparks of energization, if that's a word. So yeah, Cheyenne, on my first prayer time, even before that actually, Utam asked me to pray for this young lady, and he sent me the link, and I found that she had an accident, and I watched the video that reported on it, And I remember her praying and thanking the staff. I think some people weren't didn't have a positive outlook, but the staff had helped her get her to a point in her journey where some people never saw her coming. And there's still a lot of the journey to come. So I'm going to be keeping Cheyenne in my mind. She wants to be able to start walking again. She lost a leg basically. She had an accident. She was unconscious. She woke up. She had no leg. One of her legs were missing. And I want to get to know more about her. But I'm going to be praying for her, and I'm going to be mentioning it on there. Next prayer time Sunday night. Cheyenne's going to be on there. Anyone else has got any requests? If they're anonymous, you don't want to have names, text me, Facebook message me. If not, jump on Facebook Live on a Sunday prayer time with David Daniels. Okay, what I'm going to be talking about today. So the title of, I like to title things. The title of my Seeds of Wisdom is called Introducing Mrs. Shyman. So for those of you know, I kind of tag myself the Shyman. Very quickly, the reason I do that, growing up I was very shy to the point at times it crippled me. I see someone I do want to engage in conversation with, I'll cross over the road. I'll do my best to avoid, and being 6'4" most of my life, that's not an easy thing to do. I've kind of moved past my shyness. I've kind of come out the other side through life experiences, from gaining confidence. Shane, I see your message about Deborah Anderson. I'll message you afterwards. I'm guessing that's a prayer request. Find out a bit more, and then yeah, definitely. Hey Audie, how you doing? Long time no speak. I know you're busy, changing lives, building businesses, impacting people with God. Hope life is good with you and the family. They're growing. I've seen the pictures. They're shooting up. Lost my train of thought. Anyhow, so yeah, the Shyman. I call myself the Shyman because I come over the other side. I know I'm an introverted person. I know myself. I love myself. I'm an introverted person. There's nothing wrong with that. As Nana Martho, if you don't go watch his Facebook lives, he describes himself once as like having a snake skin, the snake continuing shedding skins, and I'm like 15, 16 skins in. I'm not the same David Daniels as I was 20 years ago, but obviously it's still me. So the Shyman is kind of to remind myself, it's a bit of fun, a bit of creativity, but to remind myself of where I've come from and to keep myself humbled as well, because it could be very easy for me to get forget where I've come from and just, oh, this is me now and I'm great and all the rest of it. Thank you for all the likes and the love hearts that come in, and the conversation. So that's why I call myself the Shyman. But they say behind every good man is a good woman, or two good women, or three or four. That's just me adding my bit. So number one woman in my life, the first woman in my life, was my mum. My mum sacrificed so much for me to be able to do this. And I think every parent, I've got 3 children, every parent wants to put in an environment so their children would do better than them or have more than them. So my mum sacrificed. No, you must have been listening. I just mentioned you about 2 minutes ago, your analogy about snake skins. How you doing? Long time no speak. Hello, sir. I'm going on radio soon. I'm following your footsteps. Nana's been about 3 or 4 radio shows now. You're probably a veteran. I need to contact you for some tips. But anyway, yeah, my mum sacrificed a lot for me. And I thank her so much. And she's given me the opportunity so now I can push on and just show her that those sacrifices were worth it. But the second most important, more prominent figure in my life is my lovely wife, Mrs. Daniels. And Utum, this is your fault, this Facebook Live, because Utum kindly offered to, I put a little preview that I'll be doing this tonight, and Utum did a poster for me, and he chose a picture at random. That actual picture, Utum, to give you some context, was from my wedding day, which on Thursday will be 6 years to the day that I got married. So that picture, it just brought back some memories. Hey Carl, how you doing? Thank you for jumping on the live. Hope you enjoy. What was I going to say? Yeah, 6 years to the day on Thursday that me and my wife got married out in Cyprus in Ayia Napa. 30 degrees, it was boiling hot. But that picture, Utum, that you used was from that day. It was actually in the lead up to the actual wedding, so it brought back a lot of happy memories. It was quite a good timing, obviously being the wedding anniversary next week, and it just made me think of my wife and that day and all of it. So this Facebook Live is about Mrs. Daniels, and Mrs. Daniels was usually upstairs sleeping because she's running around like a mad woman looking after the kids. She just happens to be next door. So this is not coincidence. It might win me a few brownie points. You never know. Anyway, so yeah, this is about Mrs. Daniels. So obviously, you see me. I'm doing this Facebook Live. I'm spreading the message, spreading positivity. Wanted to make an impact. Wanted to leave a legacy on this world. Something that my kids can say, yeah, my dad tried to do this or he did that. He tried to make the world a better place. I've kind of adopted a saying: as human beings, we either add to life or we take away from life. And I want to be someone who adds to life, or adds to life far more than I take from life. So that's kind of my mission. So who is Mrs. Daniels? So we've been married on Thursday, God willing, we get there. We'll be 6 years. We've been together. Did you hear a laugh? We've been together on and off. The off times are probably my fault. We've been together. You hear her piping up? We've been together 13 years now. End of May 2003 we got together, and it's been a journey, but she's given me so much confidence. You think about me, come from a place where I was shy, I wouldn't say be to a ghost. Girls were like the unknown. There's a book called Men Are From Mars and Women From Venus, like different planets. Obviously I liked girls getting to teenage years, but like they were the unknown, or like scary. How do we talk to them like different species? And I never saw myself getting married. Thank you for all these love hearts. Utum says hi, Mrs. Daniels. She's laughing, Utum. I didn't even expect her to be down here. She's usually upstairs sleeping. So yeah, never even saw myself getting married, having children. That just, I didn't even know I was going to get a girlfriend, so to think about getting married, but I am married, had a strong, healthy marriage, and yeah, this lady has just given me the confidence in myself to know that you got to love yourself first and foremost, and I think I was kind of there before I met Lucy. I was in a relationship before that, and I've talked about that in quite some depth in a past Facebook Live. If you want to check it out, go to my YouTube channel. It's all on there. Pretty much laid bed out. Excuse me. So that was a very tough time, and then had a transition period in between. But then got together with Lucy, and we've grown so much together. We've grown so much. We bounce off each other. You guys, you ever had those relationships where you're thinking something and the other person's thinking the same thing as you? And not just once. This has happened multiple times. Even today, we were supposed to go to a meeting. I was at work. I was going to finish work a bit early. She was coming to pick me up. We didn't even, because of family life business, we didn't even get a chance to discuss what time was going to pick each other up. So I had to give her a quick call. I said I had 11 o'clock in my mind. I spoke to her and she said, "Oh, I was going to come and pick you up at 11 o'clock." Boom. And that has just happened so many times for it to be a coincidence. So spiritually, we're connected. We are connected, and it seems a long time ago, back in May 2003, when I first started. Yeah, Utum says the same happens every day with Mrs. Maris. Yeah, I know that's not uncommon. I know it happens. It's just a connection. You just have the same thoughts at the same time, even sometimes almost saying the same thing. That doesn't happen that much often, but the same thoughts definitely. So yeah, 2003 we got together. It was all honeymoon, love and bliss. Then reality sets in, and you gotta navigate and really build those roots to keep the relationship going. So we got married in 2010, and marriage has changed things. The love is there. Love changes. In the Greek language, there's different types of word for the word love, and we only tend to use one, which kind of encapsulates everything, which is a bit tough because there's different levels of love. I love going to the cinema is not the same as I love my wife. There's different types of love, but in the English language, you only tend to use the one word for love, which kind of encapsulates everything. In the Greek, you've got agape, which is sacrificial love. So that's me feeling tired, can't be bothered. Lucy asked me to do something. I thought, you know what, I can't be bothered, but because it's you, it's my wife, I'd do it. That's agape love. It's not the fluffy love is feeling like first 6 months, 2 years of relationship, your heart beats, skips a moment every time you see each other. Do you know what I mean? Different types of love. And the longer you go in a relationship, you have to develop those different types of love. Otherwise, you will not last the distance. If you're going expecting love just to be this romance, heart skips a beat, everything like that for the rest of your life, I'm here to tell you it doesn't work like that. You cannot have a strong foundational relationship, marriage, partnership, whatever you want to call it, through that. Fluffy is kind of too harsh a word for it, but that fluffy love, that cuddly love, that, do you know what I mean? The love you see on the movies and the love at first sight, all that. You can't maintain that for a lifetime. Yes, you have to work at it to have those moments again. People talk about date nights and things like that, to have those heartbeat moments or get dressed up and what have you for a night out or what have you. But you cannot base your relationship, your partnership, your marriage on that. It just will not last. It has to be deeper than that. And that's where the things like agape love comes in, sacrificial love, doing things for someone else when you can't be bothered to because you love that person, you want the best for them, putting yourself compromising on things. When you got people know when you're in a relationship, you can't just go around doing your own thing. You got to check in with the other person. You got all these ideas I have to do things. I check in with the wife first and see what she thinks. And even at the time I might not agree with it, I was like, why can't you understand my way of thinking? She's got a different viewpoint, and what she shared is valuable. I'm going to share something real deep. Once when we got married, we did a marriage preparation course, and I said something, and I really regret saying it. It was very arrogant at the time. I can't remember what the question was, but it's something in line. I can't remember the question was, but I answered it that I'm something like I'm right more often than my wife. If I say something, she says I'm right most of the time, and it was such an arrogant thing to say. It was totally wrong, of course, but I've learned that over the years. And thank you, Terence says he's tuned on my live. I'm going to scroll back through your messages because you guys are responding, and I tend to have this habit of losing my train of thought once I get going. So yeah, I said that very arrogant. So and the thing is, with my wife, it's the unspoken stuff she does. She knows what I'm like sometimes. When I get on my high horse and start preaching and start going off on one, and I have calmed down. You ask her when something used to go wrong with a company. I've got this thing in my bit in my butt about big companies and not caring about their customers or treating them like a name, a face, a number. And when something went wrong, you did not want to be on the end of the phone to me. If I knew I was in the right, and then yeah, I'd go off on one. And she see me. I've calmed down a lot through my faith, and she's observed that. So she knows me. She knows me better than anyone. She's had a lot of patience with me at times. I know she has. I've had to learn. I've had to change. She's different to me. They say opposites attract, and I think in this case it has. But we've changed. Well, I've certainly changed. I think she's changed in some ways. Like I say, she's given me a lot more confidence. The few times that we've had arguments, I'm the kind of person he wants to thrash everything out there and then, get it done, get it sorted, all the rest. She needs to take a step back, reflect on things. Otherwise, we say things we don't mean. We get flustered. You know when emotion kicks in, and you know what I mean. You don't want to lose the battle and stuff. So you say things which are just not right or illogical and stuff like that. And we clashed on that way to resolve conflict, and I had to learn that to take a step back, to hold my thoughts, to hold what I'm saying, and just to take time out sometimes. And it's been for the benefit. So I've learned that my wife loves people. She's so caring about people. She draws people. She has an energy that she draws people to her. People like being in her company. She's fantastic with children. Fantastic mother, always looking out for other people. Very selfless as well. There's so much I could go on, and I've seen her grow. I've seen her step out in things that she has been. I've seen her push past her fear at times. and I challenge her because I want. Yeah, Terence says emotions are energies in motion, and it's up to us to be mindful. Yes, very true. Yes, Karim says your wife has such a loving heart. Yes, she does. She has a big, big, big heart, and I challenge her. She might. I challenge her with things sometimes because I want. I know she's got more inside, and I want to. I think it's part of my job, my role as a husband, to challenge her, to bring her out in the best of herself. So I will check up. I will say things to her. Like, she might think I'm being awkward sometimes. Like, she asks me a question and she just wants a simple yes or no, and maybe I'll ask a question back, or look, I'm letting out all my secrets here. She's there next door. um, so yeah, she's clocked me now. Thank you, Terence. Blessings to you as well. Um, so it's through love, the love I have for her. I want the best for her. If I think she's got more inside of her, or if I think her doing something, because we all form habits and patterns and ways of doing things, and changing those things it takes effort. Hey Frank, thank you for jumping. Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Daniel operates from a place of love, most definitely, your Tim, and so do you and your Mrs. I enjoyed that live yesterday when I saw glimpses of Mrs. Maris coming in and out. Just keeps it real, shows that family life in your house. Um, so yeah, Mrs. Daniels has to make an appearance. Hey Mark, how you doing? Happy birthday for yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. Hope you had a great one. Uh, yeah, in time, Utam, in time. Don't worry, you can hear a voice. Yeah, I know Coach Frank is in the house. Welcome, Frank. I'm looking forward to finding out more about you, and hopefully you'll find out a bit more about me, as is Terence, as is all. We've got people here from America here. What's the time over there? Let me know the time over there where you are. Um, yeah, we've got people. Oh, thank you. Thanks to Utam, I've got people joining in from life from over the seas. Our cousins, our brothers in America. So thank you. Hope you can understand the accent. So yeah, my wife. I could go on. I could talk about. She's involved with things like Compassion, the charity Compassion, where we sponsor a number of children and give them it's prayers, it's letter writing, helping with their education, and it's 6:25 p.m. Cool, nice one, Frank. I'm guessing that's 3:22 in the afternoon. I'm gonna have to get used to these time differences. So it's about I think it's about 11 something over here in the evening. So we're good. We're good. Um, Thank you guys for joining. I hope you get to see what I'm about. I've got a YouTube channel, kind of just yeah, see the journey I've taken. This is 2016 to kind of if you want to condense it to a few words. It's for me, it's year of action. I'm a man who strives for excellence. I'm a man who wants things to be everything in place before I get started. This year I've kind of broken through that. I've kind of pushed myself past that, and these Facebook Lives, I've had no public speaking training whatsoever. If you go back and watch my Facebook Live, you'll see dodgy lighting, you'll see upside down videos, you see me losing my train of thought, you see all sorts. But I've learned so much by doing, and learning along the way, and rather than just get everything in place, I would not be as far as I am now. The connections I have with Utam, the connections I have now with people from America, the people who've come and spoke up to me personally about how I've inspired them. Karim took notes in one of my Facebook Lives. Someone else said they were inspired to do a Facebook Live because of me. And I'm not the finished article yet. So you can be, do you know what I mean? You don't have to be perfect to make an impact on people. That's what I kind of get at. And my wife's not perfect, as I am not perfect, and I'm not going to list all her imperfection. You know, she likes to moan a lot. She knows that. And the reason I can say that because she knows it herself. So we all have imperfections. Is the thing is to know how identify what they are, and we're humans. We're humans. Do you know what I mean? You got all this self development and journey in faith, but we're human beings. If we weren't, we'd be robots, and then life would just be boring. So yeah, that's Mrs. Daniels. That's my better half. That's the beauty behind the brain. She's got brains as well. that's the thing about my wife. She has had some adversity in her life, let me tell you. And it's been a crossroad, and she could either go one way. She's had people telling her that she wouldn't amount to anything because of certain circumstances, and these were elders at the time. So you could either take the situation, oh, they're older than me, they know more than me, which is not necessarily the case. I'm going to listen to them and accept what they're saying, or no, forget that. I'm gonna prove to you that what you're saying is wrong. And fortunately, she chose the other route. She's had adversity in relationship as I have, and that's the beautiful thing about it. We both came out of very challenging, very intense relationships where there was a lot of hurt. And I did a video posted ages ago, because saying that basically your past doesn't have to define your future. Right? In terms of marriage, we're 6 years in. We're going strong. We've got the love of God with us. Pat McGuire, first time viewer. Ha, lovely, first time viewer. How you doing, Pat? Looking forward to hearing more about you. I'll add you as a friend and have a look and see what's going on with you. Thank you for joining. We both come from broken homes as such. I didn't have my dad around. My wife didn't have a marriage, like a married dad and father. Hi, Catherine, long time no speak. How you doing? Then we both come. We have no guidebook to go by in terms of marriage. The closest we've got is our grandparents. So we could use that, and people talk about cycles, and that does exist. If you've got people who tend to have no father in their life, the chances are high that they will continue that trend or such. Or if you've got people who've been, I don't know, smokers, for example, there's higher chance the cycle will continue. This can happen for generations and generations. So me and my wife could have the opinion that we shouldn't get married because I haven't come from a married household. She hasn't. There's been a lot of pain behind that, but no, we believe in marriage strongly. And like I say, your past doesn't have to define your future. And so far, God willing, we've had a successful marriage. The relationship has changed. Obviously, we've had kids come and beautiful children. That changes the dynamic of the relationship. But because we've got those deep roots, we know, and we've had to go through different seasons of life where we haven't been able to do everything that we want to, or things have just changed, and we have to recognize that. So we're in a season at the moment, we're bringing up our children, and we don't have the time that we used to have together, but our love for each other is so strong that we know, God willing, to know there will be a time where we can have more time together, and we work with the situation with us. We wouldn't give up our kids for anything, but it changes things. One, you have less time with each other. When we're very aware that we've seen it happen before, where people have put all their love into their children, when their children grow up and leave, because all their love and time has been invested in the children, there's nothing left for them. There's nothing left to common. The only thing that was keeping them together, such was the children. So we're very mindful of that and very watchful of that we need to spend time with each other, invest in our relationship to keep it going, to keep it strong. So, in terms of marriage, we have no guidebook to go by, but we believe in marriage, and we believe we can make it work. So your past does not have to define your future. Hey Liam, how you doing? Even a little thing like it's probably called old-fashioned now. A lot of people have their family meal time around the dinner, around the TV, and yes, more coming. So this one, relationship. Yeah, let's talk about it. Family relationships. And now it's not uncommon for a family to... Yes, thank you, Snowy. That's my dog. To watch or have family time in front of the TV. And a lot of the time you might have some conversations or might be silent, but it's around what's on the TV. And this is the thing. This is the synergy we have. Both. Hi, David. How you doing? Welcome to... my hobby on the side, public speaking on Facebook Live. Hope the business is going well. But both me and my wife had the same opinion that we wanted our family time to be around the kitchen table, and bearing in mind when I grew up, we Kareem, I'll come on to that. It's quite a packed message, but I'll come on to that. Um, I grew up. I was one of those who would watch TV with my mum in the living room, and then when I got older, I'd eat my dinner in my bedroom, and that's just the way life was. But I was keen that, and I'm not. Don't take this the wrong way. I'm not criticising my mum for it. It was the way it was, but it was very important for me when I had my own family, if I ever did, that I would sit around a table with them and talk to them. And that was something very important for me. And my wife had the same opinion. So we sit around the table, and just now my daughter, my stepdaughter, is 16 now, so she goes and does her own thing as such. That's just life. That's just thing. But from a young age, she was round the table, and we would eat a meal together. And now it became a bit stressful when we had the young children come along and the temper tantrums, and I think that's kind of what forced her away from the table. But that's very. If you've got family, please invest in the kitchen table. Buy one second hand. You can even get one for free off Recycle. Freecycle, that's the website in the UK. Invest in a kitchen table and spend time at the table with your loved ones. Trust me, you will be putting deep roots in it. Don't spend the time in front of the TV or eating dinner by yourselves in isolation. I think some families even have it now. Everyone's got a TV in their room, and they all watch their own thing in their own room. And I'm not speaking personally about people's lives, because they may spend time in other ways, but there's definitely been a change in the culture in this country anyway, where people don't spend much time with each other anymore. People don't really spend much time around the table just talking about their day, conversating, sharing their ups and downs, sharing their wins, sharing their challenges. It doesn't really happen anymore. But me and my wife have been old fashioned in that sense. It will have a lifetime impact on the children, whether they choose to do it themselves or not. I don't know. But spending that time around the table is so important to us. But she had the same thing. That's what I'm talking about. That those core values, that alignment. And my wife has changed. When we first got together, she always used to say it to me. She used to drive me crazy. I'm an organised man. I like things. I like structure. And she used to just say, "Just go with the flow. Just go with the flow." And it used to wind me up rotten. Go with the flow, darling. Go with the flow, baby. Go with the flow, sweetie pie. All that kind of. I said, "What do you mean go with the flow? If you go with the flow, you won't get out of bed in the morning. You got some structure." But there's some wisdom there. There are times you need to go with the flow. Like on this Facebook Live, you guys are fantastic on. I think this is one of my most commented on lives. You're commentating. It would be foolish of me just to keep talking and talking and talking and not acknowledge what people are saying and change what I'm saying. That's going with the flow. But I think in everything you need to have balance. So if you just go with the flow, you'll drift through life, whatever. You need to have a bit of. There are times when you need to just not wing it, but improvise. That's the word I was looking. Wing it came to me first, but improvise and just react. Like this radio show I'm going on Sunday. I've got some things in mind, what have you. Hi Anna, how you doing? But I'm very much going to react to what the presenter. Like perfect example when I went. I'm so grateful for this as well. One of my key celebrations in my 2016 is going on the podcast, the Straight from the Heart podcast with Utam. Big moment for me personally. We talked about it beforehand, and we were just talking. Just generally talking for about an hour and a half, and said, should we actually start talking about what we're going to do in the show and like what we're going to do? What's the structure going to be like? We had a little conversation, but it was very much we're just going to go and do it. And I'm so happy. I've told you this. I've actually, for those of you who don't know, I tend not to watch my lives. Very in the early days, is because being a man of striving for excellence, I don't want to critique myself to the point I wouldn't carry on doing them. But I've actually watched the podcast with Wootton, and I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of the way I come across, the things I had to say. It was unscripted. I went with the flow. and I'm very proud of that. I feel like I say with this Facebook Live, I feel like I'm an artist, and like these Facebook Lives are like my body, like a recording artist, a music artist, and these Facebook Lives are like my body of work. And that podcast is yeah, it's something I'm very proud of. It was totally unscripted. We just went with it, and it turned into something of that. This is the fantastic thing about this stuff. Yeah, this my kids can watch this long after I'm gone, and they can get value. People can watch this long after I'm gone, and they can get value from it. My kids can see that their dad did something or tried to do something um, with his life, or try to make a difference and find out more. I may not have the time to, or it may not just work out the way I have to share with them every struggle I went through, everything I went through. Um, but they can watch my lives. They can watch the YouTube channel. They can see the stuff I'm talking about. And they're saying I can never follow my scripts. Thank you, Autumn, for you're awesome as well, brother. Um, and that's what I say. I take inspiration now. I said at the beginning, I take inspiration about things around me. So that this live today, I had some ideas what I was going to talk about, but Autumn put that picture up of me on my wedding day. It made me think of my wife, how beautiful she looked on that day, and it made me think of our wedding anniversary to come. Next, hey Rainy, how you doing? Um, and it just think, what? That's what I'm going to talk about today. That's what I'm going to talk about today. So I get inspired. I've released that creativity side of my brain that I always tell myself I didn't have, and I'm having fun with it. The Shyman, the seeds of wisdom, all that stuff. I'm having fun with it. I'm enjoying it. That's why now for me I call public speaking my hobby, and most people are like, "What?" Public speaking is the second most feared thing in the world. The first thing is death, which we all ain't gonna escape from. And for someone who's shy as well, who's been shy, to go from there to there and kind of like I fit in the gap in the middle. That's public speaking is my hobby. I haven't got at the moment. There's no product or service tied in with what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. People giving me good feedback. I feel like for the first time I'm doing something I have control of, and that I'm making an impact on the world. I'm making an impact in my workplace, but actually making an impact beyond my workplace, and I'm loving it, to be honest. I've had to scale them back. They used to be Monday to Friday. There's other things I want to do. I've recently started up my own business, and it just wasn't viable. I could not continue at that pace. Um, so Seeds of Wisdom will be once a week now. Day to be confirmed. It's kind of going to be from week to week. There you go. Autumn says public speaking is the number one fear, and you know why it's the number one fear? It's probably the step into the unknown. The step into unknown. Why should it be? Why should it be the number one fear? It's a ridiculous thing. It's a ridiculous statistic in my eyes. We need to be educating people how to public speak, even for shy people, how to move past shyness to speak in front of people. And the more times you do something, the better you get, or the more confident you get at it. We need to be teaching this from school age, and that's one of my big passions, education. And if I start talking about education, then we're going to be here. The American guys will be wishing themselves to go to sleep. I'm so passionate about it. I'm gonna restrain from that one today. Um, but that passion I have for education, or more dissatisfaction about education, I'm gonna do something about it. And you guys will know. Utim's just rearranged the chart. So public speaking now is the number one most feared thing, and number two is death. I think I said that anyway. So yeah, that's it. That's Mrs. Daniels. There's so much more I could say about her. If I really think about the journey we've taken together, we both came back to faith at the same time. Such an amazing thing, such a blessing from God, and we're both. We want to do live our lives for God, live our lives for our family. Yes, we have challenges, we have frustrations, we have different points of views on things still, but we always have to try and find the common ground. She's helped me. Hi John T, how you doing? Great worship on Sunday. Elijah loved it. Jonty is part of the same church I go to. He's a fantastic musician. He does his own music as well as does worship at the church, and yeah, um, Jonty brings an energy to worship, and yeah, my Elijah, my 5-year-old Elijah, he plays the guitar with the band as well, and he turns into a showman when Jonty's around. So yeah, thank you for watching, Jonty. I've just been talking about my wife, my beautiful wife, celebrating 6 years of marriage next Thursday. Been together 13 years on and off, and how she's impacted my life, how she's given me the confidence to love myself more. You know, you guys who are married, and you know when you've got just someone you know who's there, and you don't have to worry about all those kind of stuff, and you can just focus on other things. It's just lovely. He's on the same wavelength for you as well. It's a beautiful thing. Um, so I only intend to be married once, and she does as well, which is good. Um, and yeah, I'm looking forward to many more years. I think those people married like 50, 60 years, and like I've been married like 6 years, and it's like wow, God willing, there's so much more to come, and the marriage will change in terms of seasons of life, children growing up, and what have you. But just want to invest as much time as possible with my wife. That's challenging with children and managing other things, but making that commitment to each other. Hi Elena, how you doing? Thanks for joining. So yeah, that's it, Mrs. Daniels. There you are, Mrs. Shyman. Um, I don't know. I don't think she knew what she was getting into, and that's the other thing. She's had. You going to bed? No. No. Oh, here we go. My daughter's just come back. Here we go. Should we put them on Facebook Live? No. They're running away. She's had so much faith in me when I haven't had faith in myself. She's believed in me, even with this Facebook Lives and stuff. She hasn't really said a lot about it. She's kind of let me. Hello, wonderful people.
Hello.
The young people coming in.
Yes, the young people love Dad.
There you go. Don't worry, you're not. It's on me. They're all looking. So yeah, she's had so much faith in me. Probably faith in certain things before I believed in myself. But I'm moving past that as such. So it's just yeah, it's just fantastic woman. Do I take her for granted? Yes, of course I do. I say of course I do. I do take her for granted. Like all the loved ones in my life, I take her for granted. But she knows that I love her. I tell her I love her. Hopefully I show her more than I tell her that I love her. And so yeah, there we go, Mrs. Shyman, the lady behind Mr. Shyman. Thank you for all those love hearts, and keep them coming. That's what it's all about. Thank you for. Right, let's do this. You guys have commented like crazy. I'm gonna go back through them. Let's pick this up. So let's go. Woo! Look at this. Right. Nana's talking about me going on radio. He says it's the way to spread your message to the mass. Most definitely. People still laugh. Shane is saying he loves us all. Terence. Turned on when you're live, my dude, so I won't miss them. Thank you, Terence. Thank you. What we got? Emotions are energies in motion, and it's up to us to be mindful. Yes. Recognize when you're getting angry, recognize when you're tired, and yeah, just the recognition of it is a key. Someone said my best life. Yeah, I'll get to that. Thank you very much. Karim, my wife has a loving heart. Yes, she does. Blessings. Cut short. Let's go. Frank says great karma in life, my brother. Frank says you speak well. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank, for that. I've had no public speaking whatsoever. No public speaking training whatsoever. I've been very mindful of. It was my first thought to do public speaking training. I wanted to, but I was very mindful of those organisations where they just teach you how to click a PowerPoint and you must speak in this way, you must speak in that way, you must say this, and you must follow these 10 steps. Because knowing my personality, following a system like that would have just made me so rigid. Like right now, to be having notes and I'll be critiquing myself if I miss something out. So I was very wary of, and still to this day I haven't taken any training. I only found a few organisations where there was one particular organisation where literally you do some training on the Saturday, you speak in front of 200 people on the Sunday. Challenging, yes. Is that what I needed to do? Most definitely. That's the kind of training I want, where you're doing more than you're learning. Theory is good. Theory has its place, but learning much more than theory. So there. Thank you, Frank, for that. That means that's and I've grown in confidence doing these things. So yeah, that I accept that compliment. I take it on board. Thank you. Let's go. What else we got? Autumn says you should see how David has grown from 3 months. Grown in my confidence, not grown in height. There's not much more tall I can grow. Autumn says, that's it, my beloved, and he's a mum functioning from faith, most definitely. That's what, most definitely. Terence says, thank you. Appreciate tonight's stream. Thank you guys, thank you guys. I'm so glad I didn't wait to get perfect before this. Frank says we must succeed in all things in life through God, which gives us power. Frank, power of failure. I love that term. We do not give people permission to fail. As much as we hate politicians, it's like, in this country, we wait for them to make a mistake, and then it's like, take them down. They must quit their job, they must resign. We don't, and then people become so fearful of making mistakes. Oh, I must not make mistakes, because, oh, what happens if I lose my job? How will people see me? When a kid learns how to walk, he crawls, he gets up, he drops back down. He gets up, tries it until he gets it, he does it. We need, and it's about unlearning things. That's the environment I've grown up in. I'm starting to unlearn that behaviour. So I love it. I love the way you put that. And where has it gone? I need to read that one again. Power of God gives us the power of faith. Yeah, God loves us. However much we mess up, He's dealt with that on the cross of Jesus Christ. You can mess up so many ways. He still loves us for who we are. Thank you, Frank. That was powerful. Pat, yeah, you said first time viewer. Thank you for the messages. I like some of these things, man. The excellent form of communication is listening. Yes, Frank, I've had to definitely listen more than I speak. We've got 2 ears, 1 mouth. There's a reason for that. What else? Frank says, I will tell a little bit of my background in 10 minutes, bro. Oh, okay, Frank. That'd be a good way to find out more about you. I'll watch it on a replay if I don't catch it live. Yeah, Autumn saying I'm dropping nuggets. Seeds of wisdom, baby. Seeds of wisdom. Frank Sagasta, Pat McGuire, Frank Sagasta is the big support I needed, and now beloved brother. Always believe in the ones that care. Yeah, so everything I've been doing on this video, talking about my wife, there's a word for it, and I love this word. It's called edification. It's a talk about building people up. Hopefully she gets confidence from what I'm saying, and that will make her feel better to do bigger and better things. It's called edification. I did a challenge on this many moons ago. I want people to edify people. I want people to big people up. Send them a text message. Do what Pat has done. Building Frank up, telling him how great he is. We need more of that. We need more of that in our world. So yeah, I love that edification. Oh yeah, Karim, here's an idea for Facebook Live. What if someone can't have children due to health, or maybe because of other issues like safeguarding, etc.? How do you deal with things like that? Where do you deal with things like that? When you just said children, this could be a good Facebook Live to talk about and how this could... Oh. Karim always challenges me with these Facebook Lives. Oh, Karim. You give me something simpler. No, that's fine, man. I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to come back to you. Karim, ages and ages ago, I said in my early days, because I wanted to be tested, I wanted to refine my craft. I said people to suggest things, and I still ask that same request of people. If there's anything you would ever want me to talk about, please tell me. These are not structured. It's live. I've got a book full of stuff I want to talk about in the future. Ideas that come to me, but very much I take inspiration daily. So if you ever want me to speak about something, give me. So anyway, Karim sent me this message about talking about relationships, and it must have been about 3 or 4 months later. I was thinking, how am I going to cover this one? It's not something I need to put a bit of thought into this one. And I ended up doing a 3-part series on relationships. So I think the first one was my relationship with my dad. I've already said my dad wasn't around, so the story behind that. I think the second one was relationship with girls or with my ex-partner or something like that, and then the third one I can't even remember what they're about. But that was me starting to get deep with in terms of my personal, I think, yeah, my personal story and what have you. So that it took a while to come, Karim, but I think you'll agree you got definitely got value from that. So yeah, let me get to work on that one because that's a sensitive subject for some, but we need to talk about these things, bring them out into the open. Utum says you must be Tintin. What do you mean, Utum? I ain't got no orange hair. Explain that one, please. Karim says just come across as a fault. Some fault, Karim. Look how much you wrote there. Yeah, no. We'll cover that. We'll cover that. Utum, amazing and valuable advice, brother. Thank you. Anna jumped on. She told me about the scripts. Anna, I need to find out what you do. I'm gonna check your profile after. What else we got? Utum says my best live yet. Utum, explain the Tintin thing. You got me paranoid now. Do I have a quiff? And now my hair's growing long. I'm talking about Tintin, that cartoon character. For those of you who don't know, your dog's. Oh, you're sharp, Utum. You're sharp. I like that. I like that. You're sharp. Tintin was a cartoon. For us old people like Utum, me and Utum, Tintin was a cartoon character. I think it was a Belgian one, and he had orange ginger hair like in the quiff, and he had a dog. He had a dog called Snowy, and our dog is called Snowy. I've got to be careful what I say around Utum. All good to talk about as this reality. You're awesome, mate. Yeah, we need to talk about these things. We need to talk to people like Cheyenne going through tough times at the moment. We need to keep her in mind. We need to bring these things out in the open. I'm all for that. Karim, I love Tintin and his dog. That gives me heart because Karim is a bit younger than me. It's not just an old middle-aged man's thing. Yeah, Tintin on Channel 4. I think Saturday mornings used to come on. I was much more into Asterix and all that, but we're going down a different thing here. So yeah, that's it. You know what, guys? I love all this interaction. It keeps me. It gives me. Yeah, you guys add, and that's the thing I love about these Facebook lives. It just it's a different dynamic to me speaking out like the traditional form of public speaking. Loads of new people jumping on board, conversation with each other. I love it. I love it. It gives me as much as hopefully I'll give to you, if not more. And this is what I want to do now. Now I'm doing Facebook Lives probably once a week. It allows me. I did go deeper before, but I want the more interaction so we can go have these conversations. Utum said, let's play for Xi'an collectively. I'm going to put a link. There's a link to an article that has a video on it. I'll definitely post it on here. Let's see if I can do it. No, I haven't got it. I'll do it. I'll get the link later. Terence, I think you mentioned someone, or someone mentioned someone. I think they wanted me to pray for them. So I'm just going to check that through. Somehow, I think I missed it. Sorry guys, that was important. I can't find it. Hopefully I can see it. It's gone. I can't remember. I think it was you, Terence. If you're still watching, you put a name on there, and I'm sure you wanted me to pray when I was talking. I can't find it. I'll contact you. So we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray for Xi'an. Any comments, any other feedback, share it now. Yeah, the radio show. So I think it's 105.7 Ipswich Community Radio. Should be able to get on digital radio. The show is from 8 to 10. I'm going to be on there at some point, just sharing my story, most probably about my story of faith, how I came to know God and love Him, and all the rest of that. But no doubt I'll touch upon my shame, was it? Thank you, Utum, for that. I'll talk about my shyness along the way. The reason I do these things is I want to leave it. I want to make an impact. I want people to see that I'm just an everyday person, whatever that means. Hear my struggles, see I've come through my struggles, and for you, some of you going through struggles, to know it is possible to come out the other side. And even if you don't understand why you're going through your struggles, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm usually quite a private person. So before I started doing all this, my Facebook friends and that were quite small, and that I've had to learn that in order for me to reach more people, I've got to be more public with what I'm doing. And going on a radio show, it's not. There's no ego in this at all for me. It's not about me. Yeah, it's not me having my name in lights. But it's just about people hearing me, being inspired, and using that for them to push further. So Utim says it was Shane. Shane, sorry, I know Shane. He mentioned the name, and I want to make sure. I think I've got. It's not allowing me to get this. All right, I'll contact. Yeah, Shane's comments have disappeared now. I've seen your message, Karim. Yeah, I know Shane wanted me to watch. Hi, Jenna. Happy birthday for Monday, Tuesday. I know it's your birthday this week. Happy birthday. Thank you for joining. Hope work and life is going well with you. Yeah, I truly mean that. Hope everything's well with you. Say hello to the old Haven Power lot, Josh and Josh, Big Josh and Little Josh. Hope they're doing well. So yeah, that's about it from me. Looking forward to spending time with my boys on the weekend, in the morning, then afternoons about building. Yes, autumn we'll catch up. Building. Continue to build my business, taking baby steps with that, because obviously I've got family, I've got work. I still want to stay committed to these lives, so doing that. Then on the Sunday, it's the radio show in the morning, church in the afternoon, and then family time, church in the morning, sorry, and then family time in the afternoon. Then Sunday night, once the kids are in bed, prayer time with my wife, dedication time with my wife, reflection on the week, plan the week ahead, and then it's going to be prayer time, second prayer time, Facebook Live prayer time with me, David Daniels. Do it now. It's not too early. Send me your prayer requests. Who do you want me to pray for? Who do you want prayer for, rather? Who's struggling at the moment? Who's going through challenges? This is not for people. This is not just exclusive for people with faith. If you don't know who God is, what is prayer? Prayer is just me talking to God. God, my Father, who created life here on earth, and it's just talking to Him. Although He knows everything that's on our mind, it's just talking, having that two-way conversation. So that's all it is. It's something I do with my wife. It's something I do every morning by myself. So I'm just opening it up again, recognizing the power of social media, and recognizing that for some people, it's not just about sharing everything they've eaten and everything they do every minute of the day. For some people, social media is a vital form of communication. They can't get out of the house for physical or mental reasons, and social media is their way of communicating with the world. So I'm just trying to bring some of the world to them through giving them a voice, and that's what prayer time is about. So if you have any prayer requests, send them. Join in on Facebook Live and post them as we speak, and I'll make sure that you will get your request. Your prayer will get prayed. And it's not about what your challenges is. I want to, first part of it, I've decided we're just going to be gratitude, giving thanks. There's so much we can give thanks for. If you're not doing it at the moment, before you go to bed, give thanks for one thing that's happened today, one thing, and when you wake up, you give thanks for one thing. And and it's Autumn actually, he talked about the one thing on one of his podcasts, and just the other day, a couple of days ago, I woke up late, and usually I'll be like, oh, I've woken late, and I had that feeling, but I just said, I gave God thanks for being able to wake up. So yeah, that changed for me. So the first part of prayer prayer time is giving thanks for whatever it is, an answer to prayer. I don't want these to be one-time prayers. We prayed for Xian last week. I want to know how she's going. I want to know what God has answered, or maybe what God hasn't answered yet, because God does things in His own time, not ours. Or God may not answer our request, but there'll be reason for that. We may find that out later in life. We might find out when we're in heaven. So the first part of prayer time is giving God thanks, and then the second half is giving is prayer. It's just pure prayer. Prayer. I'm not the extreme authority on prayer. I'm doing this again to help me in my prayer life, because I know there's people who they call prayer warriors who pray big prayers, who pray in the spirit. I feel I'm on an education to learn how to pray those prayers. So it's much of benefit for me as for you guys as well. So as I'm praying on Facebook Live, send me your requests. Now I know not everyone. Some people are going through some deep stuff, some challenging stuff, and they don't want everyone to know that, which is I totally understand. But I want to make sure you get prayed for as well. So if that's the case, then send me a text message, send me a private message, because when you put comments on Facebook Live, your name does show up. Send me a private message, give me a phone call. There's so many ways. WhatsApp me, whatever. You'll find a way to contact me and say, look, I would like you to pray for this situation, but I don't want you to mention names and whatever. And I'll honour that, and I'll respect that. So there's no excuse. It's open to everyone. It's just an idea that came to me a day, you could say, God placed on my heart a couple of days ago, and again, not waiting to everything to be in place. I just ran with it. I checked it over with the wife just to see what her thoughts of it. She supported it. Boom, we're doing it. So last Sunday was the first one. We had it was good. It was good. We had a few people. It was later than I wanted to, but we had a few people. We had prayer requests beforehand, and we're going to continue praying for those people. We're going to pray for Xian Miller. Hashtag pray for Xian. I'll put the link on here, so you can find out about her story. And that's the beauty of prayer. I can pray for someone I haven't even met. I can pray for someone I haven't even had a conversation with. Someone that knows her, shared her situation, and I can pray for that genuinely. It's not fake. I can pray for that, a genuine prayer, and we can pray together. And I don't know how it's going to end up. We might end up doing, I don't know, two-way calling and other people jumping aboard. I don't know. You got any suggestions? If you like what I'm talking about, you want to do it, maybe we could have prayer time UK and then prayer time someone in the US doing prayer time at the same time. And prayer time, I know they're talking about Facebook Live in the future, maybe having two screens or something, two people. Who knows where it's going to go? Just start. Yeah, just start. So that's what we're doing. So that's it, people. Thank you so much. I think this has been the most interactive. Thank you for the love you've given to Mrs. Shyman, aka Mrs. Daniels, Lucy Daniels. Thank you for the love you've shown to me. And yeah, I'm going to explain the thing. So when I finish my Facebook Lives, I tend to do a cheesy grin like this. Now, once upon a time, I was so consumed, so worried about how I looked. I'd be so obsessed with how I looked, or I didn't like the way I looked. So I was very straight-laced. I didn't know how to have like fun or take myself seriously. Karim says, "Pass my love to you." I will do, Karim. Thank you, Karim. So me doing the cheesy grin at the end is just showing that I can have a bit of fun, not take myself too seriously. So if you and some people think, "Where's he doing that stupid grin?" So what? I don't care. There's a reason behind it. It's just not take myself too seriously. So I tend to end my Facebook Lives with the cheesy grin. I need to get a name for that grin. The Cheshire grin. There you go. That sounded a bit of a growl. But anyway, before I get into the danger, start waffling on and trying to wing it. Nah. Thank you all. It means a lot to you guys taking your time to do this. You could be watching TV, you could be getting on the internet. I hope you've got some value from this. I hope I won a few brownie points with the wife. Maybe I'll get an extra special dinner for the next few days. No, our marriage is more and roll on Thursday, and the 6 years of marriage, and yeah, there's more to come from both of us. You may not see her on the screens, but she's making an impact in this world. with parents, with family, edifying people all the time. So that's it. If you can, watch me, listen to me rather, on 105.7, I think it is. Autumn, how did you do that? You're watching again. Um, you didn't fall asleep, did you? On 105.7, anytime between 8 and 10. And I will be back at some point next week with another Seas of Wisdom. I'm out. See ya.